Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Exponential Potential. You can tell that it's the month of love. We're in our love fest, and we've got a great episode today. And anyone would think I'm going for this husky voice to encourage that. It's not deliberate. It's not deliberate. But but today we are talking about the power of love, and in fact the power of self-love. And I can't help for the little song to pop in my head. Hey Jen.
Hi, Claire. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Actually, I love that. It's one of my favorite. I'm thinking of the Frankie Goes to Hollywood
Yeah.
version of Power of Love. I think that's one of my favorite tracks that they ever did.
Yeah.
And it is just so moving, and it is really powerful. And truly, the power of love will move mountains, metaphorically.
Yeah. And it's all around us and it's in us, and we just forget.
Yes, and that's just I'm giggling because you just said it's all around us, which reminds me of the really cheesy track by, was it Wet Wet Wet? Love is all around us.
The Trogs did the better version.
Oh,
for sure.
okay, the Trogs.
You've hit a sore spot there. It's like, that's such a bad
Okay.
version. The original was much better.
It's so cheesy. It's so cheesy. But we can go down the avenue of cheese and think about love is just, especially it's Valentine's Day today. And some people, this can really trigger people. And it can also, if you're on your own, it can be quite a sad day. And it can trigger people around the commerciality, is that a word? The commercial aspects of it. But it's, for me, and I think for you as well, Claire, I don't want to speak for you, but Valentine's Day is a day to remind us of that love is available to us all. And it's not this, it's deep and it's beautiful and it's powerful, and it brings so much, it does. True love, unconditional love brings so much joy and freedom into our lives. And that's what we're talking about today. And we're talking about our relationship to ourselves and to celebrate ourselves. And a reminder that love is every day, not just on Valentine's Day, it's every day.
Yeah. I don't know if I shared with you kind of one of the toughest messages anybody ever gave me. It made me so cross. But as I was just recovering from burnout, I reached out to a friend who was a psychologist. We've been working on joint projects for some time. And he said, Claire, the problem with you, your problem is that you haven't learned to love yourself. And I was like, you arrogant, horrible man, how dare you say that? What the hell do you mean by that? I was so triggered by it. But as I've grown, I've come to realize that actually he was right. His delivery was awful, but he was right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's never a good start when someone says the problem with you is.
so from the work that you do, and from your experience, why can it be so challenging to love yourself?
That's a really big question, and we do really struggle with loving ourselves. I remember actually when I was younger, I was at boarding school, and one of the girls said the most important type of love is to love yourself. And it was around the Whitney Houston song. We're all about songs today. The greatest love of all. And in my non-infinite wisdom back then at 15 years old, I felt that was really vain. To love yourself was vain and arrogant, and I am the big I am. I completely missed the meaning of it. So it does trigger a lot of people. So that's one element. You know, when people talk about self-love, they sort of think that it's a vain because
Yeah.
brought we're brought up to be, especially in the UK and other cultures, we're brought up to be humble, although a lot of us come across as very arrogant. But we're brought up to be humble, and that little shrinking violet almost, as women especially.
Yeah. Well, definitely around this aspect of self-love. But I don't know if you saw the recent criticism of Lady Gaga.
No.
She did an interview with Oprah recently, and Oprah said, "Who are you?" And it kind of like, "Who are you?"
Mm.
And Lady Gaga responded, "I am the universe." And the
Mm.
number of people that have gone, "How vain, not very humble, attack, 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 attack." But again, it's a I am the embodiment of love and light, and I am her, and she is me, and I am you, and you are me. We
Mhm.
are the universe. But again, it's just like, why don't we? Oh,
Yes. Well, the reason why we don't is, and the reason why we find it hard to love ourselves is because of our conditioning. You know, that our culture, the society norms that we live in. And I know we talk about this because we're both passionate about this, but as women, we still, in this day and age, in the Western world, we are still not treated as equal. We still do not get, in many corporations across the board, we still don't get paid the same as our equal male. You know, it's doing the same job, but he'll be on a higher salary. You know, we're still not represented enough in corporate boards and high level positions. So of course that is there, and I feel that in my root chakra. Actually, I feel that in my root, and it's like, ugh, it's like this feeling, and it's not comfortable, it's uncomfortable. So you know, we've been conditioned through our own lives, whether that's through our parents, whether that's through cultural, that we aren't as good as men. So that's one element for women. For everybody, though, we, you know, men and women feel that they have to prove themselves, that they're not enough, and that they're inadequate, because they might have heard or seen or experienced something growing up. They might have experienced something with a partner where they weren't treated with respect and with love. They might have been bullied at school. A teacher may have put them down, or put, you know, I certainly went through all of that. Parents splitting up or divorcing, or one of your parents or both of your parents not being around when you're growing up. You know, mum and dad got divorced when I was 12, and it's taken me a long time to, and my dad couldn't, it was so painful for him to see me, because he couldn't see me very often because I was away at boarding school. So it was almost too painful to see me when he was able, and he didn't see me. I thought he didn't want to see me for over 3 months. So, and that wasn't true. It was just so painful for him to see me and then for me to go again. I was his little girl, you know, I was always at his side. There's my photographs throughout my childhood, I was always with my dad. So, you know, there's those sorts of things of conditioning and having these beliefs when we are children, that our parents don't love us, or when, you know, we're not worthy of love because we haven't received it the way we thought we should. And that's something we take into our adult life. Even though we may realize that that's not the truth, we still believe it to be the truth.
yeah. It's still kind of deeply woven into our fabric.
Yes, yeah, it's woven into, it's actually woven into our brains. It's our brain, I can't think of the word I'm looking for now. Our brain wired. Yes, our brains are wired to hold on to these negative beliefs, to remind us when we're feeling vulnerable or we're in a similar situation, our brain is wired into that past feeling and reminds us through our thoughts and emotions. So we re-experience those feelings over and over again, creating those patterns. So yeah, is there anything else that you want to add to that, Claire, or anything else that you can think of that you feel where it's been difficult to love yourself?
Well, and I do think those early childhood experiences are so key. And and again, this isn't like throwing blame around. This
No.
facts. I'm the eldest of three, so, and also my dad was a sailor, so he was away and then back and away and back. So in my experience, kind of had all that time and all that love and attention, and then this other creature turns up, and as a baby, they get all the time and attention. So it's just like, and then there's another one who's the youngest who gets it all. So how many, and there'll be so many siblings now going, yes, the youngest definitely gets all of the love. And no matter what your parents try to do, the smaller they are, the more needy they are.
Yes. Yeah, they need their parents' attention. Yeah.
And so there's always that time. And also, as a girl, and with parents who both worked incredibly hard, I took on many caregiving activities around the home. So babysitting and, just they were on shift, like being at home or making sure everything was okay. And so kind of a lot of your attention, a lot of your love goes out to others, and not necessarily, you don't necessarily bring in a cycle where it comes into you and then out, just like out, straight out. So that would certainly be one aspect. And also you talk about the experiences, but I think the observations as well.
Yeah.
And through observations of relationships around us and observations from media, there's a lot of behavioral conditioning about what love is, what it means to be lovable. Kind of just thinking big eyes, smiley face, no problems. All of those things mean lovable, don't they?
Yes, actually, the
Whereas,
Love Is campaign, the Love Is, when we grew up, that was all around that cute, and now into manga, the Japanese manga where big, beautiful eyes, and it's slightly different than it was probably years ago, but there's you've got to have big, beautiful eyes to be lovable, and you've got to look like this to be lovable. Yes, yeah, that's very true. How we and the rom-coms, these ridiculous romantic comedies. And I mean, I was never one, but I had many friends that were all about having, a princess wedding. And their whole people I knew, not necessarily close friends, but people I knew had this from the age of 6. They had this dream of what love was like, and their princess wedding and their happily ever after. So yeah, we have a lot of different. And then when that doesn't happen, when we realize that that's not true, that's not the way the world works necessarily, it's incredibly disappointing.
so
yeah, and then that reflection is, well, I'm not good enough to have that fairy tale wedding. I'm not lovable enough to be Kate Hudson or whoever it might be in one of those rom-coms, and it's all happily ever after. I'm not good enough for that. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not slim enough.
For sure. So let's flip this around then. How does feeling self-love impact our lives? We talk about how we almost create a scarcity. We build in a lack of self-love, but let's flip that around. How does feeling self-love impact us?
Well, first of all, we are born we are a being of unconditional love and light. So we are born with unconditional love within us. It's it's there, it's a given. And then that's conditioned out of us. So what that feels like is when you feel that self-love, you have a sense of emotional freedom. And what I mean by that is other people's behaviors and things that they say don't trigger you the way they would when you are feeling unlovable. You don't worry about what others think about you. You already feel whole and complete. You're not looking for somebody else to fill that void. You feel joyful and light because you have this sense of love, and you can communicate openly and with more honesty, and you can express how you feel and be a true expression of yourself. So that's all a massive amount of freedom, and that you feel this space in your body. And of course that then creates much better relationships with other people. Any anxiety is gone around not feeling good enough or adequate enough, or having self-image issues, body image issues. All of that is gone because you just have this massive sense of grace and compassion and love for yourself. You feel more confident, and you feel that you're worthy and deserving of anything. And not only do you have grace and love and compassion for yourself, you have grace and love and compassion for other people. So the judgment element is all gone. So you're no longer judging yourself. You're not there isn't an inner critic anymore. And you're no longer judging other people. And that is also incredibly draining. So you have more energy.
Yeah. And there's many aspects there. Many of our listeners are women, but there are many aspects that appeal to women. But men similarly experience that lack of self-love, in terms of not feeling heard, or feeling that they have to be a particular stereotype in order to be loved. And I worry about men and men's mental health a lot. And it's just how we can how can we take those small steps to overcome this? How, if we're seeing or feeling or worrying that people aren't feeling that self-love, what advice can we give?
And also, just a point on that as well, Claire, just before I answer that question, is when you feel that self-love, it emanates outwards and it creates more love. As you were saying, it will impact your relationships. It will, because you feel so much love for yourself, you automatically want to love, and not from a needy point of view, but you automatically want to love other people. So it makes that other people feel loved, and you're more appreciative of other people because you have that compassion and understanding. So some of the things that, some of the first steps, because I think self-love is such a challenging aspect of personal growth, and getting into alignment with the fulfilling, joyful life that we want. A lot of people need help with it, but there's some things that you can do that are quite straightforward and practical. So the first is, a lot of us have body or self-image issues. So that's a real area that we beat ourselves up in. So some of the things that we can focus on, instead of what's wrong with our bodies, what does your body do for you? What are the experiences that your body brings you? How are you able to express yourself with your body, with your hands? When we talk, we use our hands and our arms an awful lot, or we use our body to communicate. It moves forward, it moves back. We're able to embrace people. We're mobile, so we can go anywhere we want. We can, travel around the world and experience incredible things. We can dance to music. We can engage in sports and activities that we love. We can go snorkeling and scuba diving and swim with dolphins. You know, we can climb mountains if we want to. We can be creative. So our body brings us so many incredible experiences and joy. And our body, not only that, our body has billions and billions of things going on to keep us healthy and alive. It does it all automatically. So we are a miracle. Our bodies are a true miracle. And coming from that place, we start to respect ourselves more and take care of ourselves more and look after our health, not from a point of view of, I want to look like this, but from a point of, I want to respect my body and be healthier because it feels good. So that's one thing you can start looking at when it's becoming really conscious and making a choice that you want to feel more love for yourself. I know a lot of people find it really difficult to look in the mirror because all they see is an issue, where most people won't even notice it. We just make it so huge. So becoming conscious and making a choice to focus on what your body does for you, what your eyes, you know, the things your eyes see, the things that you smell, the things that you can taste, the fact that you're able to express your love, your physical love, and be intimate with your love, you know, with your loved ones, your partner or partners if you've got more than one. So that's one. Just start to focus on what your body can do for you if you have issues with your self-image and body image.
For sure. And, you know, to build on that, one of my initial exercises that was just so powerful was to
sorry, can you repeat that, Claire? I don't know whether we caught it. So one of the exercises that you did was so powerful.
Was to look in the mirror.
Yes.
And look in my own eyes and just see, you know, kind of how incredible, you know, just look in your eyes, nothing else. And then connect to that person in the mirror. Just gorgeous, really. Yeah.
Yes. It's mirror exercise. I think with mirror exercise, that's a lovely way of doing it, just focusing and looking into your eyes. I think if you're doing more than that, other mirror work, you may need some support and guidance around that, because you then might go down a bit of a slope, you know, a downward spiral. But looking into your own eyes and connecting is incredibly powerful. I've done some. And the other one is, the other really practical one is to look at how others interact with you. And I mean, when I say others, I mean those that really truly know you and love you for who you are. And look at the ways they interact with you, how they, you know, how often do they come to you for support and asking you things? How much, you know, love do you feel from them? And the other thing is, ask some of your closest friends, those that really truly love you, ask them to give you one word that describes you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real changer.
Yeah. I mean, there's many other things that you can do, and I help my clients do that. And, you know, celebrate yourself is another one. And we could go on, but we're not going to today. I just want to touch on that.
I was going to say, how do we go deeper to, you know, transcend the conditioning? You know, we talked about this being really deeply wired.
Yes.
In the brain. You know, what are some of the practical next steps?
I think if we want to go beyond it, we want to transcend the hard work, all those steps, and all those steps are great and they're practical and they can be really good fun. But if you want to transcend that, you need to reconnect to your true essence, beyond the walls and the protective layers, past all the previous hurt and letdowns and disappointments, and truly tapping into your source, your heart. And you can do that through meditation, you can do that through healing, you can do that through guidance. Recognizing that you are a being of love and light, that you have unique abilities, you have a unique personality, and that has an impact. You have a very unique impact on others. Nobody else can bring what you can bring because of your, because of your, what you were born with, your innate abilities and gifts, but also because of your journey and your experiences. And nobody can, nobody is the exact same. And you will have something very special and very unique to offer others. But there's a way that you can connect into that universal source and feel your heart being filled with unconditional love. I do it through quite a few activations with my clients. I reactivate the truth of who they are. So yeah, and we'll talk about that a bit later as well.
And does that help you to overcome the patterns?
Yes, but you also need to be aware of those patterns and again, it's a choice. How do I want, we talked about this in our Be Bold, Be You in January, becoming conscious of how you want to be, how you are now, and how you want to be in your life. How do you want to live your life? How do you want to feel about yourself? And that's a choice. And then become more conscious of your thoughts and your behaviors, because your thoughts impact your behaviors and emotions, which then impact your outside world. So it's becoming more conscious of the thoughts you're having and the behaviors, and seeing where those patterns are arising, and then looking, going, okay, what can I do about that? What do I need to do to change? Not relying on your partner or on other people to change, but what do I need to do to change that?
Yeah.
So, and also the other things are around patterns is to start setting boundaries, start saying yes to you, and not in a selfish way. This is making a choice around your mental and emotional well-being and making that a priority. So boundaries and self-care, doing more of the things that you love with the people that you love. And I help you. Sometimes we need to unwrap that. Sometimes we need to have help in guiding us, because we lose ourselves in our everyday lives. We lose who we are when we're a mum or we're busy with work, we're busy with the family, we're busy with our parents. We lose who we are. So just being more aware and having time for you and creating space for you.
So how would you differentiate between self-care and self-love? Because very often the two terms are used interchangeably, aren't they?
Yes. So self-care is a form of self-love. And self-care helps boost your self-love. Self-care is about saying yes to your well-being. It's about saying yes to a calmer, quieter, more focused and grounded mind. It's about saying yes to doing things that help you relax. It's about saying yes to doing things that bring you joy and fun and laughter. And it's also saying yes to being open to receiving more, to receiving more joy, more love, more abundance. And you need to, the self-care will bring that for you. By saying yes to you, you're saying yes to the universe, and you're saying yes I'm here and I'm ready. So there's many, many things that you can do within the self-care elements. But for me, self-care is a lot around creating space and being in nature and being open and being still and open to receiving universal gifts, abundance and possibility. And because you're taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, it's a holistic view of your mind, body and soul.
So almost like self-love is the being and the knowing, and self-care is the doing.
Yes, exactamente. French and Italian. Just making up words.
With many of the clients that you work with, because you work with a range of issues from kind of success boosting through to working with overwhelm. I mean, how common do you see these patterns?
All the time. There are common patterns, and I think actually self-love is also key to reducing levels of stress and overwhelm, because you are, when you can tap into coming from that place of love, it becomes a habit where that's your go-to. So fear diminishes because you're choosing love over fear. Understanding and compassion increases. So you are releasing all those, as I said before, all those triggers and things, and you're making love way more important than anything else. And because you're doing that, you're not only affecting your life, but you're affecting everybody around you. And you're creating this beautiful, loving, trusting, compassionate environment where other people can shine as well. So the ripple effect of that is huge. And you're no longer interested in arguments. You're no longer interested in being right. You're no longer interested in the self-pity parties. You just feel more expansive and excited, and you come from this sense of wonder and curiosity. So love is truly, truly powerful.
And how can people, how do you help your clients to feel that? What work do you do with them?
So we go deep, but we don't stay in any levels of, it can be uncomfortable, but we don't stay there. We sort of work together and connecting you into the true essence of you by unveiling all those layers of conditioning and protectiveness, and so that you feel safe to explore who you truly are, the essence of you. What would it be like if you were filled with love? And I help you release those negative patterns by giving you fresh new perspective and insight, using powerful techniques that are both practical, scientific, and metaphysical. So it's a really beautiful blend of all of them, allowing you to heal and release in a very gentle cocoon. It's like this beautiful cocoon of love and support and encouragement. And the outcome is clients you just see and feel their faces just light up as they have some big realizations that they no longer need to feel the way they used to feel. They no longer need to feel not good enough as they step into that self-love and self-worth. They just light up, and you can see, weight has lifted off their shoulders, and they have this beautiful sense of inner peace and calm. And they have compassionate for themselves and their journey. And from there, they can then go on. They're in alignment then to create the life they desire.
Oh, that sounds so yummy.
Mm.
It really does sound yummy. How can we find out more? How can we follow that?
So if this resonates, my website is in the description. And also there's a little freebie about creating balance and joy and feeling uplifted daily. And if you want to really dive in, I'm offering a discovery call with me, complimentary, where we get to look at where you are now, where you want to be, some of the things that are getting in your way, and you'll experience some breakthroughs to move you forward towards where you want to be, whether that's working with me or not. There's no pressure. It's just a discovery call to see what you want to create and to see if we're a good fit to work together.
Oh, gorgeous,
Mm.
gorgeous. I came across a quote recently by the Dalai Lama.
Mm.
He's known for quotes.
Amazing quotes, yeah.
And I won't repeat it quite right, but it was this concept that the fitter the tree, the better the fruit.
Mm.
And kind of, who are you to not allow this universal energy of love and compassion to flow through you, to touch you, to flow back out and support other people? It was just, it was really good.
Yeah, and it's a brave journey, but it's easier than you think. And it's more enjoyable than you think. I mean, I have a lot of fun with my clients.
That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. So however you mark the day to day, or if this is December, if you're on catch up, however you mark your Valentine's Day in December.
That's a lot of catch up.
Yeah, it's a lot of catch up. Just make sure that you allow some time for you in that. Allow yourself to bathe in some of this yumminess in terms of self-love. Lose some of these old bits of conditioning that don't serve you anymore. Because we love you and we want you to take care of our good friends, which is you.
Yes. Yeah, and have fun with it, play with it. Don't have to be so serious all the time.
For those who are listening, I just scrunched up my face and made a face. That's how serious I am. There we go. So thank you, Jen, for really bringing that sense of self-love and harmony and peace. And there are so many elements that really help you to see that it's your birthright.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure. Absolute honor and a pleasure. Thank you.
And so, audience, if you love this episode, tell us, share with your friends, and just come hang out. And we'll be back really soon in this February Love Fest with gravelly voices, of course. For now, bye.